Welcome to Duo Reads, where we decode deep ideas and break down big books one page at a time. Today, we're really digging into a true game changer, Rework by Jason Fried and David Heinemeier Hansson. If you've ever felt, buried under conventional business wisdom, or like you just can't start that project because it feels too big, well, this book is designed to flip all that on its head. It's all about challenging the status quo and finding a simpler, more efficient, and honestly, maybe a happier path to success.
It's so true. I mean, in a world that constantly pushes for these endless business plans, chasing investors, and just relentless competition, Rework offers such a refreshing alternative. It's not about working harder, It's profoundly about working smarter. The book reveals why so many traditional business norms can actually hold back real progress. It urges you to bypass common distractions like excessive meetings or bureaucratic processes, things like that. It's really a powerful call to immediate action, focusing only on what truly matters.
Yeah, we've been immersed in this groundbreaking guide, and honestly, it challenged so many of my own preconceived notions about how things should be done. We're excited to share some of the most, eye-opening nuggets and surprising facts that we think will empower you to rethink your approach to work. Whether you're maybe an aspiring entrepreneur, a small business owner, or perhaps just looking for a new perspective in your current role. So let's unpack this and dive into what Rework really has to say. Okay, kicking things off, the very first chapter, The New Reality. It makes it incredibly clear that Rework isn't just for, a niche group of hardcore tech entrepreneurs. It speaks to small business owners looking for smarter management, people in day jobs yearning for a change, even skeptics of business who might feel completely intimidated by the whole idea. The core message here is surprisingly simple, but powerful. Today, anyone can be in business.
And this empowerment, it's largely driven by technology. The book highlights how the business landscape has fundamentally shifted. It's made it incredibly accessible for individuals to start and run a business, sort of independently. Think about it. Affordable tools, software, online platforms. You can now accomplish tasks that once required entire teams or, significant capital investment. It truly is a game changer for accessibility. It levels the playing field in a way we haven't really seen before.
Definitely. And what I found so liberating in this section is how it tackles the myth of work-life balance head-on. It directly challenges the idea that success demands those grueling 60, 80, maybe even 100-hour weeks. Rework suggests that 10 to 40 hours a week is actually plenty. And perhaps even more importantly, for many people listening, it emphasizes that you can absolutely start a business on the side, keep your day job, minimize that financial risk. In a world obsessed with hustle culture, how radical is that idea for people feeling trapped?
Oh, it's incredibly liberating.
Yeah.
Because it directly confronts that common belief, doesn't it? That you have to either burn yourself out or jump off a cliff financially to build something meaningful. It removes that huge financial barrier. It tells people, hey, you don't necessarily have to quit your day job right away. It's about leveraging today's resources, being pragmatic, rethinking traditional work practices from the ground up, and realizing that now truly is the time to embrace these new opportunities without maybe immense personal sacrifice.
Right. So we've talked about this new reality where anyone can start something. But what about all those conventional rules? The ones we've been taught about how business should be run. What if those very assumptions are actually holding us back? That's where Rework's takedowns come in, and this is where it gets really interesting, because the book immediately challenges some of the most ingrained business myths out there. First one, ignore the real world. The book argues the real world is often just an excuse for inaction.
It's fascinating, though, because there's a critical interpretation that kind of comes up right alongside that advice. While the book powerfully suggests ignoring the real world as a barrier to innovation, and that certainly has merit for overcoming procrastination, right? It's important to acknowledge that this perspective might oversimplify the actual challenges entrepreneurs face. I mean, in many established markets, for instance, careful research and following industry standards do dictate cautious approaches. For good reason. So while it's vital to encourage that innovative thinking, you can't entirely dismiss real-world challenges. It's about finding a balance, you see.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. You can't just ignore all reality.
Yeah.
Okay, another truly surprising takedown. Learning from mistakes is overrated. Wow, that's so counterintuitive, isn't it?
It really is.
We're always told to learn from our failures, right?
Absolutely. But the logic Rework presents is actually quite simple. They suggest focusing on successes instead. When something succeeds, you know what worked, and you can do it again, maybe even better the next time. Success gives you real ammunition, a clear blueprint, whereas mistakes often just give you a list of things not to do, which isn't always as actionable,
Interesting point. And then there's planning is guessing. That sounds almost reckless, doesn't it? We're taught to meticulously plan everything out, years in advance sometimes. So if planning is just guessing, what does Rework suggest we do instead? Especially for someone just starting out.
Well, it's not about abandoning foresight entirely. It's more about recognizing the futility of rigid, long-term blueprints. The book argues that planning beyond the immediate next steps is often just wishful thinking. The world changes too fast. Instead, it advocates for an iterative, adaptable approach. Focus on short-term informed decisions, experiment, gather real-time feedback, pivot quickly. Think less about a 5-year master plan, more about a series of smart, responsive moves based on what's actually happening. Call plans what they are, guesses.
Okay, adapt and iterate. I like that. They also ask, why grow? The book argues, and I love this quote, small is not just a stepping stone. Small is a great destination in itself. It's such a different way to think about scale, moving away from that, Silicon Valley obsession with massive, rapid expansion.
And tied right into that is the debunking of workaholism. Rework is very blunt about this. Workaholics aren't heroes. They don't save the day. They just use it up. The book celebrates efficiency. It says, the real hero is already home because she figured out a faster way to get things done. It profoundly emphasizes quality and efficiency over just sheer hours logged, which is such a breath of fresh air.
It really is. And I really appreciate this part, too. Enough with entrepreneurs. The book suggests we call them starters instead. I love this. It truly makes the whole idea of starting something feel so much more accessible.
Exactly.
It demystifies the whole thing, removes some of that intimidating aura. Okay, so we've broken down some big myths. Now, let's talk about action. The next section in Rework is simply titled Go. And the core message here is just start making something. The book argues that ideas themselves are, well, cheap and plentiful. The original pitch idea, it's such a small part of a business that it's almost negligible. It's all about the execution, the doing.
Yes, and this go mindset connects to make a dent in the universe. It's about adding real, tangible value to your customers' lives. And even more directly, the book says to scratch your own itch, which means developing products you personally need or want, like James Dyson Wright. He created his bagless vacuum because he was so frustrated with the existing ones. That personal connection often drives passion and a deeper understanding of the problem you're actually solving.
That personal itch really does resonate. So many great inventions start there. And for anyone listening who's thinking, but I have no time, well, Rework says no time is no excuse. It offers clear, actionable advice. If you truly want to make something happen, you need to adjust your routine and prioritize. If you want something bad enough, you find the time. Or you make the time. Simple as that, really. This momentum then takes us into the next core idea, progress. And here, the book tells you to embrace constraints. It highlights how limitations, whether it's time, money, or people, can actually foster incredible creativity and efficiency.
This point does raise an interesting question, though. While the authors argue that limitations inspire innovation, and there's definitely truth to that, especially for lean startups, this perspective might overlook contexts where, actually, abundant resources have led to immense breakthroughs. Think about the huge research budgets in big tech or pharmaceuticals that enable entirely new discoveries. So it's about balance, you see. Understanding that different contexts might need different approaches to resources to achieve real progress.
Right. Context matters. But that core idea of constraints, breeding creativity, is powerful. And an incredibly memorable concept from this chapter, one that I think sticks with everyone, is build half a product, not a half-assed product. It's such a powerful call to focus on quality and simplified delivery. Don't try to do everything and end up doing nothing well. Do less, but do it exceptionally well.
Exactly, and that ties directly into the crucial advice to launch now. Don't wait for perfection. Prioritize the essentials, get your product or service out there, and then iterate based on real user feedback. That's how you truly make progress, rather than just, perfecting something in a vacuum nobody cares about yet.
Okay. Shifting gears slightly, Chapter 5, Productivity, offers some incredibly practical advice. It starts with a simple but profound idea that I think many of us struggle with. Interruption is the enemy of productivity.
Absolutely. It's so true. The book suggests dedicating uninterrupted alone time for deep, focused work. Get in the zone. It brings up a great example from Alaska Airlines. Instead of relying on endless documents that can create what they call illusions of agreement, where everyone thinks they understand a concept but actually pictures something totally different, they use tangible prototypes instead. This forced immediate clarity and real collaboration. It shows the power of focused, uninterrupted time to cut through the noise and actually get things done.
Prototypes over documents. I like that. And it also makes a strong case that meetings are toxic. Keep them brief, make sure they're action-oriented, and only invite people who absolutely need to be there. Cut the fluff. Plus, the idea that good enough is fine, for timeliness over perfection. Sometimes getting it done and shipped is genuinely better than endlessly chasing some elusive perfect state that never arrives.
Right. Done is often better than perfect.
Then in the chapter on competitors, Rework gives some truly provocative advice. First, don't copy. It explains that while copying might help you learn in art, maybe in business it often leads to failure, because the copycats lack the true understanding and the passion behind the original idea.
What's powerful here is the related idea of decommoditize your product, infuse it with your unique perspective, your personality. The book cites Zappos as a fantastic example. They didn't sell shoes differently, necessarily, but through their exceptional customer service ethos, they transformed a commodity into a unique experience. This idea is really powerful for standing out in a crowded market. It's about being you.
Yeah, infusing yourself into it. They even suggest you pick a fight, take a stand,
Yeah.
and underdo your competition.
Mm.
That's so true sometimes, isn't it? Doing less or taking a clear, differentiated stance is actually far more effective than trying to outmuscle everyone on every single feature.
It's about defining your unique position, yeah. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the overarching message from this section is pretty clear. Focus on yourself instead. Obsessing over competitors, constantly reacting to what they do, it can lead to immense stress, distraction, and you lose your own unique vision. It's about forging your own path, not just reacting to others.
Okay, let's dive into evolution. The book suggests say no by default. That's a hard one for many people, myself included. It's so tempting to say yes to every opportunity that comes along.
It is hard, but it's crucial for maintaining clarity and preventing, scope creep. Saying yes to everything means you can't focus on what really matters. Another interesting point from this chapter is let your customers outgrow you. Don't tailor your product too closely to just one big customer or try to be everything to everyone. That can alienate new users or just narrow your appeal too much. It's natural for some customers to move on as their needs evolve, and that's okay. You can't keep everyone forever.
That's a mature perspective, and I love this reminder. Don't confuse enthusiasm with priority. Let new ideas cool down a bit before assessing their true importance and viability. We all get excited about shiny new things, right?
Oh, yeah.
But not every new idea deserves immediate top-tier action. Let it sit for a bit. Now, on to promotion. The book suggests you welcome obscurity. Treat it as a time to experiment and make mistakes without intense public scrutiny. Such a freeing thought for new ventures, isn't it? Instead of feeling that immediate pressure to go viral.
Exactly. It takes the pressure off. Instead of just buying ads, the book says to build an audience, or how? By choosing to out-teach your competition. Share your knowledge generously. Show your work. And go behind the scenes. Show how your business operates authentically. Be transparent. The book also says nobody likes plastic flowers, meaning embrace your imperfections, be authentic. People connect with genuine humanity, not some polished corporate fakery.
Right, be real. And for some truly provocative marketing advice, drug dealers get it right. Offer a free taste. Let people try your product or service to entice them. It's about letting the product speak for itself rather than just over-explaining or over-marketing.
That's a memorable one for sure. And crucially, the book clarifies that marketing is not a department. It's a constant company-wide effort. Everyone is involved in marketing in some way. And just as importantly, it debunks the myth of the overnight sensation. Real growth is gradual. It's built on consistent effort over time, not sudden, inexplicable fame. That's a powerful message of perseverance for anyone starting out.
Absolutely. Okay, moving on to hiring. A core piece of advice here, and one that really struck me, is do it yourself first before hiring anyone. The book suggests never hire anyone to do a job until you've tried to do it yourself first. This helps you truly understand the role, its challenges, and crucially, what to look for in a candidate. You know what the job actually entails.
So that raises the important question, when is the right time to hire then? The book answers, hire when it hurts. Only when there's genuinely more work than you can handle for a sustained period, and it's impacting your ability to deliver quality. And it even gives the counterintuitive advice to pass on great people if there's no immediate real need. Why? To avoid unnecessary complexity and overhead. It's about staying lean and focused. Don't hire just because someone amazing is available.
Hire when it hurts. Pass on great people if you don't need them.
Wow. It also has some great takes on common hiring practices, like resumes are ridiculous because they rarely tell the whole story. They're often just polished lists. And it emphasizes the importance of hiring the best writer, regardless of the specific role. Yeah, why is that?
Because good writing often signifies clear thinking and effective communication skills, which are vital everywhere.
That makes sense. Clear writing equals clear thinking.
Okay, briefly, let's touch on damage control. The main message here seems to be own your bad news. Be transparent, build trust. It gives the example of Exxon versus Ashland Oil and their different responses to oil spills. Exxon's delayed defensive reaction really damaged their reputation long term, whereas Ashland's immediate and transparent apology helped them recover public trust much faster.
And connecting this to the bigger picture, it stresses how speed changes everything in customer service and crisis management. Quick, honest responses can diffuse negative situations before they spiral. And when you do apologize, a good apology accepts responsibility. No ifs, ands, or buts. No conditional language. That kind of transparency is just crucial for building and maintaining trust with your customers and audience.
Absolutely. Finally, culture. This chapter is truly fascinating. The book states very clearly, you don't create a culture. It happens. It's simply a byproduct of consistent behavior, meaning you can't just force it with mission statements on the wall. You build it through consistent actions over time.
What's really interesting here is how it encourages a less prescriptive approach to company culture. It suggests that decisions are temporary. Don't overthink future problems or create permanent, rigid solutions for temporary issues. Stay flexible. Also, skip the rock stars. Focus on creating a good, supportive environment for everyone, not just seeking out a few exceptional, perhaps high-maintenance individuals. And a strong, vital message. Send people home at 5. Long hours often just mask poor execution or inefficiency, and they definitely lead to burnout. Promote sustainable work habits.
Right. Value efficiency over face time. And a powerful warning against what the book calls organizational scar tissue. Don't scar on the first cut. This refers to that tendency to overreact to a single, isolated problem by creating rigid, often unnecessary policies that then burden everyone forever.
Oh, I've seen that happen.
Avoid bureaucracy born from rare exceptions, right?
Yeah.
Plus, the book advocates strongly to sound like you. Use authentic conversational communication. Avoid corporate jargon and the infamous ASAP is poison, which just creates unnecessary urgency and stress for everyone.
Be human in your communication.
Exactly. So bringing it all together then, what Rework really encourages you to do is to question pretty much everything you thought you knew about business and work. It's about valuing simplicity, taking decisive action, and focusing relentlessly on what truly provides value, cutting out all the noise, all the bureaucracy.
That's it, exactly. What Rework really encourages you, the listener, to do is to dismantle that conventional wisdom, to find a more efficient, sustainable, and frankly, happier path forward. It's kind of a roadmap for modern entrepreneurship and just effective work in general, prioritizing common sense and pragmatic action over, traditional dogma.
So if you were to take just one of these reworked ideas, whether it's embracing constraints, maybe ignoring the real world a bit more, or just launching now, and apply it to your day, what would it be? What piece of conventional wisdom are you ready to challenge in your own work or your life? Think about that for a moment. We really hope this breakdown of Rework has given you some valuable insights and perhaps a few aha moments along the way. Until next time, keep decoding those deep ideas.